Welcome back. This episode follows on from our last one, where we explored how to bring the body back into rest and digest, and why that state is essential for clear skin and overall balance. Today, we're diving into tools to help you process stressful encounters, especially those ones that keep you up at night replaying the conversation. These are gentle, everyday tools for regular stressors. If you're navigating something much bigger, please reach out to a therapist who's trained in that specific area. Your safety and support always comes first. In episode 5, we explored how stress impacts the body and why rest and digest matters for your skin. When the body is under stress, it prioritizes fight or flight. Digestion slows down, detoxification backs up, and waste that should be cleared through your lymph, liver, and gut can overflow into your skin, which is the body's backup elimination channel. There are many reasons that this can happen. I go into these deeply in my guided programs, but for now, we'll focus on one common trigger, and that is stress from interactions with others. Welcome to the Holistic Skin Detective. My name is Christina, and I am a holistic skin health practitioner with 20 years' experience in helping people find natural solutions to their skin woes. And I'm the creator of the KDC Skin Typing Framework. If you're here, you're probably curious about how to tackle hormonal acne from a truly holistic angle. In each episode, we'll explore the deeper connections between your skin, your hormones, and your environment, because healthy skin is so much more than just the surface. So before we dive into today's topic, if you haven't yet discovered your own KDC skin type, you can find a link in the show notes to learn more. And remember, while we explore holistic approaches here, it's always a good idea to have your skin first checked by a qualified medical professional. Now let's get into the heart of today's episode. Over the years, many clients have come to me with sudden breakouts, flare ups, or irritation that we trace back to one core driver, and that was stressful human dynamics. So, this episode steps slightly sideways because, as a holistic skin therapist, I don't just look at the skin. I look at the body, the mindset, and the energetic or spiritual layers that shape how we show up in the world. So, you may have heard the phrase, your thoughts create your beliefs. The tricky bit is understanding your thoughts in the first place. I trained as a life coach under a social scientist, so my lens is slightly different. When we reflect on any situation, we learn something about ourselves, especially in moments of contrast. This modern black and white world can feel harsh when someone stands in opposition to us. We're not used to this and many times feel threatened, which sets off a stress response: fight, flight, fawn, or freeze. My aim here isn't to educate on conflict, but to help you find that middle space. Place of grounded awareness where your body and your mind can rest rather than react. Our nervous system is wired into our thought processes. The stories we tell ourselves send signals to the body about whether we're safe or under attack. And I truly believe that when we reframe our experiences, we alchemize fear into self growth safely, gently, consciously, and without having to interact with the person that's causing us stress. They say the only way out is through. I say the only way out is within. So everything in life, even the most uncomfortable bits, mirrors something within us. Experiences may be there to help support us, to flow, and to grow. Discomfort can inform us of where we need to take the next step, what is time to leave behind, or what needs to change within us or in our environment to support our growth. But we're not taught how to deal with what we don't like or what makes us feel off balance. As a Reiki practitioner, energy is never still. It's always moving, and understanding this ensures we travel a little lighter on our road. Instead of looking at our circumstances with curiosity, we often tend to label. She's this, he's that. It's almost an allopathic way of thinking, diagnosing people as if they're symptoms to be fixed. Labeling comes from a place of certainty and a definitive perspective, whereas curiosity carries a lighter energy, one that invites movement and understanding. I do think that we've forgotten how to converse from difference, to accept that other people's perspectives can actually enrich our own. Maybe it's confirmation bias, maybe it's fear, I don't know. But the truth is, reciprocity, the act of giving and receiving energy with awareness, is what restores balance, whether in healing work or in relationships. Those who work with the plant kingdom know that true sustainability depends on reciprocity. And healers understand the principle of energetic exchange. If we don't, we end up feeling drained and seeking constant protection rituals. Energy is fluid, and when we learn to regulate our own energy and responses, we start shifting from resistance to understanding and from stress to calm. Now, we are all human and we all have resistant thoughts, those tight judgments we hold about others. When we cling to them, the body tightens too. If we then build a narrative around that thought, looking for evidence to prove it's true, we create a narrative. Share that story often enough, and it becomes culture, a mini culture born from one unexamined thought. But what if that original thought wasn't even true? This is where projection begins and where gossip, bias, and even harm can spread if left unchecked. This constant resistance creates toxic environments, and when we don't self examine, the negative effect can manifest in our own bodies. It keeps the body in fight or flight, which depresses digestion, disrupts sleep, and even, as we covered before, can show up on the skin. So, how do we interrupt this? By becoming conscious. And that means becoming aware of our own thoughts and how they drive our behavior, and how behavior affects the health of ourselves and the others around us. We do this through, firstly, awareness. And if you've listened this far, you're already there. Secondly, ownership. You don't have to share anything with anyone at this stage. Just acknowledge within yourself, without judgment, that things need to change. Then write it out. On a piece of paper, write out all your thoughts and judgments, perspectives, and understanding of the situation. Don't edit, let it be raw and from the heart. And the final step is to use tools to help you reflect safely. Personally, I think AI is very helpful in this arena, as it's available to you late at night when doubts start to crawl into your headspace. Now, I know AI can feel intimidating, but platforms like ChatGPT can now be used privately. You can turn off the training so that you can share your thoughts confidently. And I designed a prompt which I have put together into the show notes for you, together with a worksheet you can use if you like to help you process some of these thoughts. So, if you cut and paste your thoughts into a thread and then type, here's what I think about this personal situation. I don't think it's all true, but I might be jumping to conclusions. Can you help me understand what past behaviors or beliefs might have shaped this reaction? It's a surprisingly powerful self inquiry tool, especially for non threatening situations where you simply want to unpack patterns. And once you have information, you can ask questions to learn more about yourself and request journal prompts. I like prompts that have questions and require you to write long pieces. Another tool you can use is The Work, which is a worksheet by Byron Katie. You can simply write out all your problems you're having with a person and then ask yourself a set of questions. Her first question is it true? At which time your brain will just want to shout, yes, of course it is. But then she asks the question again, can you absolutely know that it is true? And that second question creates what we call wiggle room in the mind, a tiny pause that allows new possibilities to enter. She then asks you several other questions that are intended to help you break down your belief to understand that perhaps what you thought might be happening may not be serving you or others. She then helps you to reframe in a way that is kind and empowering, helping you to move past blocks that were holding you back. Remember, if you feel resistance, good. This is a sign that something is needing to be heard, and that is where you need to be if you want to be able to change your life. I'd also like to touch on trauma because it underpins so much of this. Trauma doesn't have to be just one big event. It can be a number of events, and they create patterns that stay stuck within us, and they loop. That means they repeat until we process the information or what happens. Healing that loop often requires support from a trauma informed therapist, especially if talk therapy has felt a little bit too activating before. Processing trauma happens in layers by noticing patterns, naming grief, and allowing small, safe movements forward. Above all, safety is key for you and for those around you. So, coming back to our topic of hormonal acne, when we regulate the nervous system and release resistant thoughts, we don't just feel better, but disrupting hormones normalize and our skin calms too. We also end up taking the stress off the liver, so the liver can then start to process complex hormones, which takes some time to break down. We absorb nutrients more efficiently. Sleep improves, and the body is then able to clear waste through its proper channels instead of pushing it through and out the skin. So, the next time a stressful interaction happens, take it as information. Your body isn't betraying you, it's communicating. And the more awareness you bring inward, the more peace you bring outward. So, thank you for joining me today. In the next episode, I will be exploring how sleep, movement, and digestion tie into skin health and how you can restore your natural circadian rhythms. Until then, take a breath, soften your shoulders, and remember the only way out is within.